Once upon a time, there was a sweet little girl who always wore a red cloak her grandmother had made for her. Everyone called her Little Red Riding Hood. One day, her mother said, "Take this basket of food to your grandmother. She's not feeling well. But remember, don't talk to strangers and stay on the path." Little Red Riding Hood set off through the forest. As she walked, she met a wolf who asked, "Where are you going, Little Red Riding Hood?" "I'm going to my grandmother's house," she replied. The wolf, being clever, thought of a plan. He said, "Why not pick some flowers for your grandmother? I'm sure she'd love them." Forgetting her mother's warning, Little Red Riding Hood stepped off the path to pick flowers. Meanwhile, the wolf rushed to her grandmother's house. When he arrived, he knocked on the door. "Who is it?" called the grandmother. "It's me, Little Red Riding Hood," the wolf said, disguising his voice. Thinking it was her granddaughter, the grandmother let the wolf in. The wolf gobbled her up, put on her clothes, and climbed into bed to wait for Little Red Riding Hood. Soon, Little Red Riding Hood arrived at the house. She knocked on the door, and the wolf, pretending to be her grandmother, called out, "Come in, dear." When Little Red Riding Hood entered the house, she noticed something strange about her grandmother. "Grandmother, what big eyes you have. All the better to see you with, my dear," said the wolf. "Grandmother, what big ears you have," she exclaimed. "All the better to hear you with, my dear," the wolf replied. "Grandmother, what big teeth you have," she said in shock. "All the better to eat you with," roared the wolf as he jumped out of bed. But before the wolf could harm her, a passing woodsman heard the commotion. He rushed into the house, saw the wolf, and chased him away. The woodsman cut open the wolf's belly, and out came Little Red Riding Hood's grandmother, safe and sound. Little Red Riding Hood learned a valuable lesson that day. Always listen to your mother and never talk to strangers. She promised never to stray from the path again. And they all lived happily ever after.